Alright, let's finally climb to the top of this tall tower. To help me out, I've brought a tall man along with me. Hey, tall man, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm alright, I've been sitting on that joke for like a month now.
You know, I was actually thinking, before we recorded this, as I was making my tea, I thought, you know, I know it's a kind of a tower kind of level world thing. I should make a tall tower, tall man joke. But, you beat me to it, so good job.
So, this is Ballistic Meg's fairway, that's Ballistic Meg. Bye,
She
Ballistic Meg.
Looks pretty ballistic.
Yeah, if you touch the fire, I think, you get hurt, but I don't know the actual hitbox on it. It's kind of, like most things in the game, it's kind of weird.
Right.
This...
I like the Back to the Future effect. It kind of just leaves the trail of fire behind her.
Yeah, and this is basically the gimmick for the entire level. There's also these little platforms that rotate around, but we'll be seeing more of those in later on in the video.
That was kind of an easy color gem there. It's just kind of... You kind of have to try to not get it.
Yeah, but to make up for it, they've got this little dick move for the gobbo there, that you might just take the balloon immediately and miss out on it.
Right. So is that just one of her that happens to follow you around to all these rooms, or... Oh, well, there's the hitbox for it right there.
Yeah, no, there's like a bunch of them.
Okay.
There's a bunch of Ballistic Meg was probably an individual, and Dante cruelly multiplied her.
That is cruel.
So I mentioned this in the last video to Out Front. He wasn't able to see it too much. The colored gems float a little bit lower than regular gems. If you keep an eye out for it, you can kind of tell where they are throughout this video. It's the sort of thing, like, once you know about it, it suddenly becomes really obvious, which helps for sections where it's like, oh, here's a whole shit ton of gems, and you would have to get all of them and waste a bunch of time if you didn't know.
Yeah. Ballistic Meg doesn't seem too incredibly threatening.
She's not. I mean, you can't kill her. I'm pretty sure you can't kill her. I've never tried.
But I mean, her ballistic spasms kind of are very short-lived, and then she spends most of her time just standing still, really.
Yeah, it's supposed to be more threatening on, like, tiny platforms like those, or coming up where you're not supposed to have much room to maneuver around her. And it does get a little tricky. I like the theme of, well, the idea of having, like, a character who the level is kind of based around with a specific gameplay gimmick.
Right, yeah.
And I'll kind of talk more about that again later. Because you'll notice a bit of a theme of these last 3 levels of the game. God, more hanging bars.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he goes really slowly over those things. I don't know if that was ever mentioned in one of the other videos, but...
Oh yes.
That is just awful.
It's even worse because this is the PAL version, not the NTSC, so he's 1/6 slower.
Oh man. Like, I don't have too much experience with PS1 platformers. My PS1 library was rather small, but compared to like Crash Bandicoot or something that I can think of, or even Mario on Mario 64, that's just ridiculously slow.
Yeah, like Crash is basically at running speed, if not a little faster, when he's climbing.
He books it over those things. Or under them, rather.
I think one of these bars, I think from this platform, you can actually jump onto the top of them. But... no, actually I could have just jumped over this one. This doesn't have a colored gem on it, but I think it's the next hanging bar... yeah, over there that has a colored gem in it, so you can't skip it. And of course, if you don't know that that the color gems hang lower, then you wouldn't realize that that's where the color gem is. And of course, you have to do all of this. It's just so time-consuming.
Right. Poor guy.
You never saw it coming. Well,
Never.
you saw it coming. You saw it coming twice. can't remember if any of these screens are so long and so slow that the music runs out. I think that only happens a couple of times in the earlier worlds. So this is where yeah, the whole fire trail thing is supposed to be a bit more threatening.
Okay, I see. Yeah, it's a bit narrow in the middle.
But not threatening enough.
Yeah. This was always one of those games that, you know, I saw advertised and always saw it at Blockbuster or whatever your rental store of choice is. And I always was sort of interested in it, but didn't know enough about it to warrant ever renting it or buying it or anything, so I just never played it or anything.
I think when I was a kid, the most experience that I had with it was, like, I would go to an after-school care kind of program at one stage of my childhood, and yeah, it would be like the only game on the PS1 there at the time.
It's kind of a sad one game to have.
At least that's the only game I remember. Sadder is that that's the only game that I remember there being. So in this screen, Meg is super threatening because she runs rings around you and doesn't stop you from getting to the boxes. Hang on, I think I have that backwards.
Yeah, I have no idea how you're not getting hit here. Well, see you, Meg.
Yep, we'll never see you again for the entire game. Very short-lived for a unique character.
This is the only level she ever appears in?
Yep, so late in the game, and it was still an interesting concept.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, there are so few unique models in the game that to have one for just one level is, oh, it strikes me as odd. Oh, no, wait, I'm lying. There is one level, I think, in the bonus world where Ballistic Meg comes back.
Perfect.
But, you know, that's for another time. Now it's time for Swipe Swiftly's Wicked Ride.
Man, try saying that 5 times fast.
Swipe Swiftly's Wicked Ride, Swipe Swiftly's Wicked Ride, Swipe Swiftly's Wicked Ride, Swipe Swiftly's Wicked... Nope.
No.
Wasn't fast enough. If you miss that gem, you are going to be so pissed when you get to the end of the stage.
Oh,
Hey there,
man.
Swipe Swiftly. Bye, Swipe Swiftly. Yeah, this is gonna go for a while.
Oh, I see. He's, looks to be about as threatening as Meg. Oh, wait. There you go.
He can catch you, and suddenly this became a lot more of a challenge because I only had that one gem.
So can you not pick up the gems when you get hit?
I think it just got away from me before I managed to get to it. And after a long time of falling, finally we get to the bottom here.
So, you know, you spent all that time climbing the tower, and then you just fell all the way down again.
This ain't Dark Souls. I've shown in a previous video how the geometry makes no sense. This is a screen that I got screwed over when I played this the first time before recording this. Because I tried doing all of the bottom platforms first, then all the top platforms. But that doesn't work. You want to do these them one at a time, high then low.
So why doesn't it work? Just because it's hard to get back and forth, or what?
You'll see in a minute.
Okay.
For now, I'm really glad that I can take the slight shortcuts, like just jumping straight over to the platform that's going up.
Yeah, that was a pro jump.
I know. I'm ready to speedrun this.
Quick, someone contact SDA. You missed an opportunity for another pro jump there, but...
So I ignore that one.
Oh, okay.
So... And why would you say I'd ignored that one?
I don't know.
Oh, also the platforms, those broken platforms appear like, as soon as that sparkly effect happens. Well, here's another wicked ride.
Oh, well then. I can see why going for the bottom ones first screwed you over.
And they can really get the drop on you quite easily.
Okay, so this does play by Sonic the Hedgehog rules.
Yeah, also known as the worst system to have for health. You know, even Sonic got better at it. Like, in the newer Sonics, he just started losing, you know, oh, you lose 20 rings when you get hit, or 10 rings.
Right, yeah.
Even they got a bit better at it. But I guess I can't fault this for that, since there was only one of these. Two of these. Oh, I guess I was wrong. This one was long enough that the music ran out.
Oh.
Oh, look at all those gems.
That's a lot of gems.
I guess we better collect all of them.
Yeah, you never know which ones might be a colored one in disguise.
And we get a nice Trident Dantini shooting at us, just to make things more fun.
Always nice for that added challenge. Did I see you jump when it was... Yeah, you jump and you go nowhere. I actually love that in games.
It's like when you're a kid and you go in the elevators.
Oh yeah, definitely. I did that all the time.
So yeah, none of them were the color gem. I did that entirely on purpose.
Well, thank you for that.
I mean, at least, you know, something like that's not going to happen again. We're not going to have another long line of gems in the same level that we'd have to collect a bunch of, all in one go.
Oh yeah, of course not.
That would just be really obnoxious if they do something like that.
That would be, you know, I would think that they'd be better than that. They'd be, you know, above that.
Yeah, I have faith in them.
Well, looks like our faith.
You let
is
me
low.
down! Argonaut Software, how could you?
We were, they hoisted us.
And I did this screen getting every single gem to demonstrate how tedious it is to have to get all of them. Also, these sliding platforms are supposed to be tricky, but I've shown this a few times how Croc, as soon as he's over a moving platform, is just kind of magnetized to it, so it doesn't actually matter. You can just jump straight over to the next one. It's not like it's gonna run away from you.
Oh, okay.
And I think this is where... Here? No. But those fireballs have really stupid hitboxes. Oh, like that. Maybe that was it.
Oh, that's horrible.
More gems, and keep an eye out on that last line of gems on the right there, if I come to look at it. See that second last one? It just becomes really obvious once you notice it. It starts sticking out like sore thumb.
Yeah, right.
But I'm still trying to prove a point here. So one at a time, slowly back and forth.
Yeah, at least the up and down ones, you could kind of you know, collect a couple in a pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least the music didn't run out on the screen.
I think it was very close to there. So I proved a point there. Now that the point is proven, yeah, we're not doing that again. Secret gem is right there. Now let's fuck off to the end of the level.
Good job. And I did notice a bit of like you were saying, getting magnetized to the thing as soon as you're over it. When you jumped on that other one. And right there as well.
Yeah, there's no timing at all. It makes it a little bit weird when you have to jump off of one of those moving platforms, but yeah. So the bonus stage for this one is... what's going on here? The platform's getting smaller. If I recall the tool-assisted speedrun correctly, all of these platforms are actually still there, even though you can't see them. The collision,
Oh, really?
The collision boxes are still there, so you could, if you knew the path, just jump on all of them and get to the end.
Interesting.
And I think I might be wrong on this, but I think also the collision box doesn't shrink as the sprite is shrinking here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like I remember at some point a shrinking platform in Croc where I just walked straight off to the off of the model.
This music is a little upbeat for the what's going on.
Yeah, fast-paced, high-tension action. I gotta pity someone who gets to the end of a bonus stage and somehow forgets to pick up the gobbo.
That would be tragic.
So we had Ballistic Meg, Swipe Swiftly, and now we get Platform Pete, and the Panic at his player.
Pat his player.
Pat his player.
That's the best thing to say when you're recording something.
Oh yeah, get a load of those pops. So that's Platform Pete. He's the coolest of these three little characters.
He looks like a cool guy. I'd hang out with him.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments of like genuinely decent level design where the level starts and you immediately see what he's capable of.
Right.
Without it actually adversely affecting you. I mean, I guess Ballistic Meg did that as well, but Ballistic Meg's gimmick was stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas this provides... I mean, this is probably one of my favorite levels of the game. It provides just some good classic platforming challenge, and the platforms aren't intentionally spaced really far apart to try and make it harder. And they don't shove a whole bunch of Trident Dantinis all over the place.
I see a little bit of speedrunning to do here.
I mean, it's not that tight, but yeah. Like I said, just like lots of they've realized, okay, so we've got a mechanic where we can make platforms rotate to be dangerous or safe. What can we do around that? And they make some really interesting things happen.
Right, yeah, it's more of a platformer level than, like, some of the levels tend to be a little collect-a-thon-y.
Yeah. Especially since the colored gems in all of these screens are pretty easy to pick up. Especially, this is where the platforming gets really fun.
Ooh.
Especially when the collision boxes do that.
Yeah.
I didn't plan for that, I just jumped way too early. That's what I planned on.
Right. I do like it. Seems that there's at least a lot of really good variety as well between the screens here. Like the first one just had, the one by one at a time to kind of introduce. To introduce it to you, then the make a bunch of jumps all at once, and then the jumping from one platform to another, and now just this looks like an updated version of that, really.
Now the platforms move as well as turn, and this gets a bit confusing because the sequence that you're supposed to do everything in, like when am I supposed to jump to the next platform and when is it going to turn over, because sometimes when he hits the button they'll move and sometimes they'll flip. That can be a bit annoying, because it's like, oh, I jumped on this platform when I thought it was going to move, because there's no indication of what the full sequence of movements is.
Right.
And I think that's going to happen here. Yeah, see here? No? Okay, they go up and down, and when I think they're going to go back over... God, screw me over with the timing more, game. Whoops!
Ooh.
I think what I should have expected from that is that each time he hits the button, the platforms, whatever they're doing, they repeat the motion twice. So that should have been my clue that, well, I can just stay on the safe platform, wait for them to move back and forth, and then I know that the next time I jump on it, they'll move together again. In any case...
Oh. Oh, there's that.
Did I really help? Oh, I know why I didn't skip past this. Because this is one of those screens where the music runs out, but something interesting happens that was mentioned in the thread. As soon as the music runs out, you'll hear it. Yep, here we go. So the music runs out if you leave it for long enough in any screen, and then it starts over. But in some screens, like the bonus screens, why did I do that? That's just me being an idiot. No fault of the game there. If you leave it for long enough, it'll start up again, and in some stages, like the bonus screens, it'll start up with the same music again. But sometimes it'll just start a different track for whatever reason. What I think might be the case is that it's starting up the track for the next, what it counts as the next screen. Possibly. Because it was shown that it's not starting the track, the next track, like, in the list. Like, it's not going from track 6 to track 7, it's going track 6 to track 4, or something like that. So, and you'll notice that in this next screen, it's that same music. So that was, I get the feeling that what it's supposed to, the side effect of the music looping shit is that it's going to the next screen and saying, okay, give me that track. So this is more of what we had in the previous screen, but it's got a better flow to it because you don't have to jump off of the platform sequence to get a colored gem. But yeah,
so this was nice.
So this was a good. I think this is a good. Well, it's a good level. I don't know how I feel about it being the final level before the final boss. Well, this isn't the final boss. I don't know how I feel about it being the last regular level. Because, like, all three of the whole thing about, you know, characters with gameplay gimmicks, like, this has just come out of nowhere. Why weren't these characters introduced earlier? Why weren't there more characters? Why didn't they have easy levels and then harder levels in the castle? This could have had so much more done with it. And it just seems really weird, like I said, that, you know, they would go to the effort of coming up with these ideas and putting in unique models for them, all for them to last one or two levels.
Yeah, right. It's like they worked from reverse or something. Alright, we need to design the last levels first, and let's make them all interesting and unique. Now we're out of ideas. So let's make the other levels generic.
So there's the last color gem. Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that in this level, we haven't gotten any gobbos yet. Normally, we would get typically one gobbo per screen.
Yeah.
Like, that's been the case for the entire game so far. But in this one, it changes it up. We got no gobbos in the regular stage, and they're all in the bonus stage. And we just got to do some, you know, pretty fiendish platforming, honestly, to get them. This is what kind of annoys me the most about well, this level in general, is that they've shown that they're capable of some really good design and really interesting ideas, but they didn't do it for all of the game, and they waited until this late in the game to do it. The only other time this happened with, like, not having one gobbo per screen was in the first level of World 4, the Tower of Power, where you had to collect 3 gobbos that were locked up in the dungeon. That was all in one screen. And that was an interesting twist to the gameplay.
Right.
And it actually made a little bit of sense. Why couldn't they have done more twists on the gameplay like that? You know, had several color gems in one area, have several gobbos in one area. In the other worlds, especially since it creates this problem where the player has been trained by this point of the game to expect that they're going to have a gobbo and a color gem in each screen. So when they don't find one, they think that they've fucked something up, and they wouldn't think that, oh, they must all be in the bonus screen. Like, that's the design of the level is good, but then how it affects the way the player interprets the entire game is bad. And it's like more, I guess, just disappointing more than any way. This is supposed to be a Dante's Inferno joke, apparently.
I missed the title of it.
It was Baron Dante's Funky Inferno.
Oh,
And
okay.
what's Baron Dante gonna do to himself? He's gonna do fuck all. He's gonna beat his chest, and that's his power-up sequence. We're not even seen his final form yet, and I'm not even kidding about that.
Oh, really? I was gonna say he beats his chest and then looks like he's ready for a nap.
Shit, that took a lot out of me. I mean, it would have been cool if he'd like zapped himself or did the thing where in like the newer Mario games where Kamek will just come out of nowhere and zap Bowser after you think you've beaten him, and suddenly he's more powerful.
That magic powder or whatever.
Yeah.
Or as
So
the
this
name
is-
implies, Dante's Inferno catching on fire or something.
Yeah, coat himself in fire, something like that. So in the last video, there was a rising staircase of disappearing platforms in the boss stage. That was like felt like a cool boss sort of lead up. It felt like the sort of thing that you would have at a final boss. Like, oh, this is, there's no turning back. That's the stupid hitbox of the fireballs. That was totally gone.
That was awful.
So yeah, like a cool, a rising staircase of disappearing platforms. That would have been a cool way to do this boss fight, the introduction of this boss fight. Instead, we just had those two screens.
It's kind of lackluster.
Oh, if you think that's lackluster, that shockwave apparently doesn't hurt us. And this is Baron Dante. He does the same thing that Flibby the Beetle did, where he just walks around, smacks the ground, and then he's super tired. Or if I can get a good look at him, what he actually does is he like clutches his face. Apparently that time he wasn't vulnerable.
God, that camera is really bad. Like, I know that was mentioned a couple times, but
Yeah, just a couple.
yeah.
So I'm attacking him too early, is what's happening. I need to wait for him to be clutching his face, because he's going, oh my god, I didn't kill him. There we go.
Ay, Dios mío.
But Baron Dante is not just an ordinary boss. You don't hit him 3 times. You hit him 3 times, 3 times.
Ooh.
Welcome to Phase 2, which is
Phase
the
two.
only... This is the only well-designed phase of the boss fight.
It's like he's put on his sunglasses.
Yeah, I want to get a good angle on him, but it's literally impossible. So this is what he does. Once you stay still, classic bullfighter tactic. And this is the only phase where it feels like you're actually doing something to, hurt him, and that there's a reason for him to be vulnerable.
Right,
In the first and the third phase, it's just like he goes, oh, I've attacked you, and now I'm vulnerable for a few seconds. In this, it's, oh, I'm, stunned because I smacked my face into the wall.
Yeah, you actually have to manipulate him in some kind of a way.
Mm.
I mean, it's just standing still, really. Because, and moving out the way.
That one gem. The real strategy to, if you actually want to survive in boss fights and you're not super good at them, is you always just take one gem in, because it's way easier to keep track of having to pick up one gem. For some reason, yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble getting out of the way of this last run. There we go.
I guess you can just
And
blame the camera and call it a day.
I think I blame the camera enough, unless something really stupid happens in the next video. I don't remember. So yeah, final portion is he starts flying, shoots some lasers at you, and then checks his nails on his metallic hand.
Which might actually be nails.
That doesn't seem like they'd manicure very well.
I don't think so.
Also, you can't really put any, nail polish isn't going to show up too well on metal, I don't think.
Especially not silver-colored nail polish.
Yeah, which is the best kind of nail polish, as we all know.
Yeah, being men, we know these things.
And that was his final attack, and look at his gormless face. What a way to go out, like a total chump.
Yeah, alright, I'm dead, whatever. I wouldn't really call that an inferno, really. Oh, woe is me.
And we hit him so hard that he literally Mega Man'd out of existence.
Perfect.
And
Wonderful.
I don't think Croc actually understands anything of what he was doing the last, 8 hours.
Hooray, murder.
He just seems like, woo, sparkles! Also, apparently he could break cages with his tail. Thanks for doing that just now. In any case, that's the end of the adventure, probably.
Maybe.
So let's go get our reward.
Is it a big statue of Croc? It is a big statue of Croc.
And more music.
And dance.
I don't know how they managed to get the tooth right. Is kind of escaping me. And doing like a little conga line, I guess. See, everyone's happy.
Except the statue. Dancing on his face.
And Croc's just like, yes, yes, dance for me!
That little slow clap like he's
I am king of you people!
barely amused.
I am giant king of these tiny people. Oh, and what's this area? Never seen this before. So that was Croc. Most of it, at least. We get this kind of spoilery / sneak peek into a future area of the game. And now the credits roll. What do you think of the game as much as you've seen of it?
Well, like I mentioned, I never rented it or played it or anything, and I'm kind of okay with that decision that I made. I mean, it looks okay, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of a platformer. Yeah,
I think I may have remembered it a bit more and maybe a bit more fondly because A, I was a stupid kid, and B, it was a crocodile, so that probably made me more interested in it because I was Australian. I was Australian. I am Australian. And...
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Didn't I mention?
No, I had no clue, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't putting on a really good accent this whole time. If I could do an American accent, I would say, or was I an American accent, just to throw you off right there. Anyway.
You sure had me fooled.
Yeah. But ultimately, Croc is just another one of those forgettable PS1 platformers that came out around the time that 3D platforming was getting big and everyone wanted to have a mascot to rival Mario.
Right.
I mean, I say that in spite of the fact that this originally began development as a Yoshi spin-off.
Yeah, I heard that. Or read it or something.
Oh, by the way, the credits screen is so long that they didn't make music long enough for it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we have a good, minute, I think, or 30 seconds left of credits to go. We haven't even gotten to the special thanks yet.
That's awesome. So,
how about those gongs?
Yeah, they were,
Oh, and then they just go, and now they tell you, by the way, you're not done yet. As if you couldn't already tell.
I like that pun.
One of the only good ones. Let's dance to the jailhouse, Croc. It does not seem very jailhouse Crocky.
No, first couple notes made me think it was Stairway to Heaven playing.
Oh my god, you're right.
I think the first 3 notes were ripped directly from Stairway to Heaven.
I don't think you can really patent 3 notes. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, that's copyrighted, man. Those
Next
3
you're
notes.
gonna tell me I can't say that it's on like Donkey Kong. Pretty challenging screen if you wanted to get all of the all the regular gems and you don't know how to jump. yeah, this is a really, in spite of the cool name, this is a really bad final level of the. Final level? It's just a bad level.
Yeah,
Like it's a bit of running, a bit of jumping, a bit of running and jumping.
Especially compared to what we just had with some of the levels, this is kind of like, oh, here's back to their old ways.
Yeah, it's really short and it poses basically no challenge, and I mean that's basically it. It's short and no challenge, and like look at this. This has nothing but shrinking platforms. We've dealt with shrinking platforms before. I tried to make it a bit harder by jumping on all of them in sequence, and that still didn't help.
That just makes it more fun, to be honest, I would think.
Yeah.
Like you're playing a hopscotch or something.
And then back to this.
Back to Stairway.
It's got a good, the only thing that is kind of interesting about the level is that it's got a good sort of palindromic design to it, where you do dungeon level 3, inside 3, dungeon level outside, or castle levels, and then dungeon level again. And then, there's the jigsaw puzzle. Yeah, that's it. That was what we got. And we don't even get the music, for some reason. It kicks in there for whatever reason. And what happens when we get all of the jigsaw puzzle pieces?
We do the puzzle, I guess.
Shh, you weren't supposed to say. Fuck. Well, guess what we have to do all over again now? God.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just ruined everything.
Cancel the LP. It's over.